Late last month, Telstra Employees held yet another rally in what has been a lengthy industrial dispute between staff and management. It has been quite an eventful past month for Telstra, including the much publicised departure of former CEO Sol Trujillo.
I want to start off with the extraordinary outburst we saw in the last 24 hours. A person, an American of Mexican heritage, first time appointed to Australia's fourth largest company, saying that we're racist. I think it's a disgrace. You look at what he's left behind. He says we're backwards. Well, let's look at his contribution. Job numbers, backwards, down 10,000. Customer service, backwards, complaints up 240%. Share price, backwards. You look at the risk and the regulatory position of the company now as a result of the decisions that he has made and he has led, the position of the company, backwards.
Trujillo and McGeechy stuffed up so-called transformation. Currently it's way over budget and way behind on timetable, with its centrepiece, the CEPU system, an absolute disaster for customers and for employees. Trujillo and McGeechy destroyed relationships between the management and the employees of the company because Trujillo and McGeechy were absolute bedfellows who hated unions and collective organisations for workers.
Thanks to this anti-union stance, almost two-thirds of Telstra employees are now on individual contracts.
After the federal elections in November, HR went flat out to try and flog AWAs, individual contracts, to thousands and thousands of employees in Telstra before the federal Labor government legislated in the new year. Flying in the face of the decision of the Australian people, who very firmly opposed AWAs and other IR questions of the Howard government, they rolled them out. They got thousands on, so there are thousands of Telstra employees who are locked into 5-year work choices AWAs.
And since July of last year, Telstra HR has refused to negotiate with unions on a new EBA for its employees, instead suggesting a non-union collective agreement.
Telstra wants to slice and dice its company into small groups and attempt to roll out a so-called employee collective agreement. What it is, it's just another form of AWAs. There is no negotiation with employees. Maybe Telstra negotiates with itself, or how much pay rise? Will we give the pay rise equivalent to what Sol got? Oh no, I don't think so. Let's work out ourselves and provide it to employees as a take it or leave it. Even worse, if the employees don't take it, the documents show that they will be punished by having a 1-year pay freeze. I mean, this is absolutely outrageous.
However, with the Labor government's Fair Work Act legislation coming into effect on the 1st of July, last month's newly appointed CEO David Thodey recently wrote to employees and unions pledging to end the lengthy standoff by negotiating a new enterprise agreement in good faith.
Well, I guess what's going on is the culmination of 5 months of strike action, and what we're seeing is also the impact of the new laws that the government's bringing in. We've reached the stage where Telstra is, at least in words, saying they're now prepared to negotiate, which they haven't been doing up until now.
We've got a new CEO who is making the right sounds publicly. He's talking the talk. We've been the first to congratulate him. And we've said to him, we're willing to work with him. And we're sincere in that approach. What we need now is to sort out the industrial mess at Telstra. We're committed to doing it. So he's building out a new tune, but HR is sticking to the golden oldies. They're sticking to the old script. And that script is that we run the show, we'll call the shots, we'll flick you a note when we're ready to talk to you again. And that basically undercuts everything that David Thodey's done so far. You know, people are making a big deal about this week, and I don't mean to be a killjoy, but I'm not having any of it. And members are saying they're not having any of it either. And the reason for it is this: if they were serious and genuine about their intention to bargain with us, why would you put out a note that says basically we're going to follow the law? They knew these laws were being changed. They knew for ages that that was going to be the case. So what they should have done, the right thing, the sincere thing to do, is to let us know in advance that they wanted to talk. We've had people sacrificing incomes through industrial action for months, and they should have done the right thing by you guys, by yourselves, in talking to us first.
The new negotiations proposed will only affect those Telstra workers who are not locked into individual contracts. However, unions want all employees to be covered by the new EBA, along with other demands they feel are absolutely necessary.
Telstra workers have been fighting for the right of those workers who were forced or cajoled or threatened or deceived into going onto individual contracts during Howard's era. We've been fighting for the right to have their right to choose the award and the enterprise bargaining agreement as the instrument of their employment.
Do you think that the government will act to back up workers coming off AWAs?
No, I don't think they will. I think they've put in place what they're going to do, and they're basically saying they stay on until the end of their AWAs, which in Telstra's case is 2012, 2013, and then they have the choice to go back to the EBA if they wish. That's really the government's position. Telstra workers have been fighting for the right to be properly represented by the union without unfair barriers, hurdles and constraints in the way of their representation. The next thing is we need to win the right to be able to go to arbitration when there's a dispute in Telstra that we can't resolve, to get a third party to at least make a judgment on fair treatment. We need that in the agreement, and we need to have our wages and conditions protected in Telstra.
The Telstra campaign to win a collective agreement is one of the crucial battles at this point of time for the union movement. You've got others like the building unions fighting against the ABCC. You've got the public sector workers in the federal departments still trying to get recognition from the bureaucrats, even though John Howard's been gone for a year and a half. You've got the LHMU fighting against the big hotel chains who are trying to rush through non-union low-paid agreements before the legislation kicks in. All sorts of stunts are happening. But one of the key battles, let me emphasise this, is the Telstra campaign.
Our message to Telstra, and it's a message I share with Telstra, it's this. The quality of this next enterprise agreement will depend on what we all invest in the process. If we're serious and fair income about it, we'll get a good quality document. If they're not serious about it, then we're basically stuck in the past. If they think that they can just offer the same old, and we're going to jump for joy, they can think again. We want a better deal, we want a fairer deal, we want one that balances their interests, but importantly one that balances your interest as well. We remain committed to basically sticking to the action until such time as they seriously demonstrate that they are prepared to talk, and at that point we will then work with them 100%. Thank you for your support, and we just keep on keeping on.